All right, let's go then. Sunday, and the event has come to a close. Penrite Sandown SuperSprint, entertaining racing all day. Shane van Gisbergen with a pair of Sunday wins, chased home by Will Davison today, and Broc Feeney at the press conference, which is very cool to see. Congratulations to Broc picking up some more trophies. We'll start with Shane. We'd just love to hear your thoughts on a really cool battle with Will. First of all, at the start of the race, but then a very different battle at the end.
Yeah, it was a really cool battle. I knew it was going to be tough, and whoever led the first 2 laps probably had the best chance of winning the race. And with that dirt on the track, it was crazy slippery. But I knew being the first car, you'd get the dirtiest track, and it was going to be pretty tough. So I just went all out and didn't care about tyre life or anything. I just wanted to get in front, and it was pretty exciting over the top there. And it was big ball stuff, and he didn't let off either. It was really cool, but. Yeah, and then unfortunately I think Anton got involved in the crash, so we lost 1 car from the battle. That sucked a bit, but yeah, and then I tried to push, managed the speed, but he kept coming back at me. So his car was maybe slightly better. So there, yeah, we went for the undercut, which is unusual for us, and then I just sort of managed the pace to him, and then when he came out I went for it and just managed the gap on the little delta that we have and tried not to look in the mirror, just focused on doing my lap times. And he ran out of pace with about 3 or 4 laps to go, and it was pretty cool.
How much does this circuit suit that style of racing, and particularly the switchback moves and the sliding around and the sort of door-to-door stuff over the top?
Oh, yes and no. It's only for 2 laps. Like, this track suits a 500k race. Like, you see the variable strategies, tyre life, you see a lot more passing. Once the race sort of settled down, you don't see as much. Like, once it's sort of stale, like he was still the fastest car. He should have been able to pass me easily. And yesterday, Anton the same. You know, I would rather a longer race and better racing.
We heard from Will on Friday, I think it was, about, you know, having all this speed, actually yesterday, but having all this speed later in his career. Just your thoughts on how Will's driving as a competitor in qualifying trim and in those sort of will-to-will battles that you guys are having at the moment?
He's certainly stepped up this year, and he's a pretty good guy to race. One of the guys I more like racing. Yeah, and it's been surprising the turnaround in speed this year, especially Anton, you know. I think, yeah, Will's probably doing better.
Cool. Okay. Good job today, mate.
Cool.
I'll ask you some questions about NZ at the end, but we'll stick with today first. Will, what a turnaround from where you were in qualifying from the little short issue that you had going on with the wiring. Can you just put us in your frame of mind how you were feeling at that point after the elation of yesterday, and then all of a sudden it looks like the day was going to go upside down in qualifying?
Yeah, I had a weird morning, that's for sure. Yeah, with that it was a bit of a shock. Obviously, priority was to try and get the car back. Obviously, initially not cause a red flag, but it was getting pretty hard to breathe. Sort of the last minute or so, it's getting quite bad. So yeah, but I don't know. You'd rather not breathe than cause a red flag, right? I don't know what you're thinking, but no, we got it back, and you know, guys did a great job in a short space to get me back out there, and yeah, I was just determined to get the lap down. So yeah, we were able to nail another good one. Set the tone for a couple of weird things that went on today, but all in all, yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day.
Did you need a bit of a breather after those 2 qualifying sessions, just to sort of clear out the smoke that you'd been breathing in?
Yeah, I probably did, to be honest. Yeah, I did have, I was with Carl for a bit on the oxygen and that, because I wasn't feeling the best, to be totally honest with you. But anyway, it was good. I still got in and obviously got the lap in, and just had an hour or so before that first race to sort of sit down and chill out, and I was all right. I was fine. Cool.
The battle today, start and finish of that last race, can you talk us through the opening stanza against Shane? It was entertaining stuff. Yeah, it was obviously, wish it wasn't so entertaining, but certainly wasn't a straightforward opening lap, and with the dirt down, yeah, it was nuts. You know, there was nothing controlled going on at all. It was slipping and sliding and a bit of contact, and not what you want. You want to just settle into your rhythm quite quick, but yeah, it was all going on, and yeah, we'd actually made a few changes to the car as well, which is really cool of Rich. We had a crack. We're not just the car's super fast. We didn't just want to accept what we had, we still wanted to make it better. So it was just very different. So first few laps I was really sort of having to adjust the car on the bars and change a few things around, and then it settled down and was still, you know, quite a fast car. But first few laps I had my hands full, and
Shane got a huge side draft up the back straight. Really surprised me how quick he came through. I tried to steal it back, and then we sent it in, and we're side by side there, which is quite tricky. But it was wild, but it was cool. And unfortunately, then the battle was going on, and then as I was hoping to continue the battle down the front straight, went to go a switch back, and unfortunately got a big whack from Anton, who I think got hit by Chaz. So that sucked a lot.
Team-wise and strategy-wise, are you happy with how you guys played that one?
Yep. Yeah, awesome job by the guys. You're always thinking on your feet. There's no right or wrong, and we were just going to assess what was going on, and we had reasonable flexibility, I think, with our car to run long or possibly go early. But the outlap's quite poor when you go early, so it's not that simple to do an undercut either. So when Shane decided to come in, we pressed on for a few more laps, got back in the eights, and at that stage we were just monitoring the gap to Chaz as well, and we thought we'll just try and come home strong, which is we had a crack. I pushed hard to the end. We sort of ended up on his bumper, but it's tricky. You get within a second and start losing those tyres.
Finally, you walked away with the qualifying record today, didn't you? I think that was the quickest ever quali lap around here in that second session. Who knows what the history holds for this place? Who knows how fast Gen 3 cars are going to be? Would that be something that'd be special to hold on to for a lifetime?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that'd be cool. Sandown. It'd be nice. Yeah, okay. Hey, we might be back next year. I don't know what's happening, but it's nice banging out big laps like that. It's cool.
Cool. Good job today. Weekend. Very good job. Broc, on Friday you said you're only here at your first press conference because Jamie Whincup got you here. Well, you did it yourself today, mate. Just your thoughts on bouncing back from the disappointment in the earlier race and then sticking it on the podium.
Yeah, it's good to finally have a proper podium and a press conference. Obviously first podium was the fourth race of the year, so it's been quite a while and certainly felt like we needed this. But yeah, it was a tough weekend up until that last race. Quick in qualifying in the first race, then got turned. And then to stall it when battling for the podium in the first race today was pretty tough. So, I think we all deserve that, not only myself, but the team and my boys that have been putting in a massive effort. So, starting ninth, I did believe that we could get a podium, but it was going to be a big reach. And, such a cool race. So, just so glad to be up here.
All day there's been some pretty crazy battles going on. We heard the fellas talking about the slippery conditions out there. Just your thoughts on some of the hand-to-hand combat and how far that element of your game's starting to go now, competing with the big boys. Yeah,
for sure. Certainly starting to get used to it. But the first laps were crazy, and I think my biggest strength and improvement this weekend's been my starts on my first lap. So we've obviously put a big emphasis on improving the starts, and I had 3 solid ones all weekend where I gained positions, and on that first lap, got a few people, and there was people running off at 2, and I just kept it clean and kept chipping away. And it was the same at the end of the race. Chaz and Cam started battling as usual, and I thought that there may be a chance that they'd run into each other or something like that. But obviously Cam ran off, and I just was able to pass Chaz. So wild race, plenty going on, and it's just always learning.
What's it like standing on a Supercars podium?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. A lot of fans here as well. So it's great to see so many people back at the racetrack, and it's been too long. We've been quick this year and sometimes, but it's just been putting it together, and certainly racecraft is getting a lot better. To move from 9th to 3rd for me is it's a big tick.
All right, mate. Well done today. Thanks, we'll open it up to the journos.
Just for Shane, your lead in the championship now has opened up to 500 points. Yeah. How important is that for you in terms of going to Bathurst and having a really big swing there?
It's exactly been the goal for the last couple of rounds. I probably lost focus and was a bit too conservative at Winton and Darwin and didn't race like I normally would have. And then, last 3 rounds have been full attack, and now I can go to Bathurst and just have a crack and not even think about the championship. So it's a pretty cool place to be in. Yeah, mate.
Broc, you've pretty well all year kind of settled nicely into that 5, 6, 7 kind of area, but I guess has making that last step from there up into the top 1, 2, 3 sort of been, I guess that's the hardest challenge, is it?
Yeah, we've just, it's just been little parts, you know. Sometimes we wouldn't qualify well, but we'd race well, and other times we'd qualify well and I'd get a terrible start. So I've always, we've been there or thereabouts this year, but I'm hoping this podium sort of kicks the confidence back up and we can consistently be here a bit more often. But honestly, I think putting a reasonable championship together, like we're pretty consistent this year. So as you said, we're always in that sort of 4, 5, 6, 7 area. Want to make that next step, but it's it's a process, and we're just putting in the work to make sure that we can keep getting closer to the front. Yeah,
like 6th in the championship in your first year. Like, are you happy with that? Are you happy how you're going?
Yeah, for sure. You said I'd come top 5 at the start of the year, so that's the goal at the moment. But it's been good. Just consistent, and at times I want to be up on the podium, but I'm happy. Getting the 5th and 6th in 3 races over the weekend rather than a podium and a 15th. So I think we've been doing a good job at that, but now it's the next step to try and sneak up on the podium a few more times.
And we'll just, I guess it's the topical thing here, we talked about it on the Friday press conference, but, how much would it mean to you with your family history here to get one more like Sandown 500 before, I guess, the place closes forever?
Yeah, I mean, it's pointless what I say, but I think there's a passion from a lot of people that think it's such a cool traditional event. It's a special place. I think 500k race is really suited to here. What the realities are, I've got no idea, but I'm a purist. I love tradition and the sport, and Sandown 500s, it's always a special race. So, hey, fingers crossed somehow we can not only get a 500 back next year and a couple of enduros, but why not run it here if it's possible?
Will, it looked like your pit stop in the last race was a last-second decision. Was that right? And were you getting held up by the lap car?
Exactly. I just Macaulay Jones had just come out of the pits. I think he was laps behind, and it's pretty clear he wasn't going to make it easy to get round. I sort of said he didn't get out of the way, so as we sort of down at Dandy Road. And then he sort of wasn't getting out of my way, so I sort of made a call pretty quick that I think we could dump half a second in this next lap pretty quick. We just made that call when I sort of radioed in and said, that's the situation. So they made a call, so yeah.
How much longer were you planning to stay?
I don't actually know, to be honest. I got back to the high 8s, but the tyres weren't in the best nick. I'd sort of pushed them pretty hard, so I was slipping and sliding on the entries, a lot of wheel spin, but we still had reasonable speed. So I think we could have gone a few more laps because, I think we'd cleared Chaz okay. But, it was touch and go because it was still quite tight with Chaz on my out lap. So I think it was the right decision, definitely.
Broc obviously come from 9th into the podium. What do you think set you up best for that podium? And can you describe that battle with Chaz at the end of the race?
Yeah, as I said, it was just good starts this weekend and good first laps. So was able to get a couple off the line, and then through 2 and 3 got up into, I think, 6th. So there was a fair bit going on in that race. And in that mid part of the first stint, I certainly didn't have the pace of these front guys. And, for the first few laps, we were quite close. But once they put the hammer down, probably didn't have the pace that they did. So we just settled into our own race and, did our own thing. But obviously Anton, had damage and had to pit, so there was another one. But after the pit stops, I knew Chaz was on quite older tyres. So once him and Cam started battling, I knew there was a chance that I could try and get up on the podium. He was having a few lunges at 1, and they'd just come out together, and then Cam made the mistake. And I knew as soon as I got to Chaz, I was catching him rapidly. If I didn't get the pass done as soon as I got there, it would have been quite difficult to do. So I just set him up out of Dandenong Road to get a run onto the front straight, and executed it as well as I could have. And the last few laps were quite nerve-wracking.
A couple on the teams championship, which is looking pretty exciting at the moment. You guys have taken a pretty big lead in that today. I think it's nearly 175 odd points at the minute with the big swings and roundabouts. I've asked the other fellas about this before, but never you, Broc. You play a pretty pivotal role in the teams championship and keeping that bit of real estate at the end of pit lane. How much have you had discussions about that with Jamie and the rest of the team?
Haven't had discussions about it, but fortunately my teammate's 500 points in the lead, so that's handy. But I'm just trying to do my thing and finish races and keep consistent. So yeah, I don't think about the team's championship, but overall we're trying to finish all the races and be as far up as we can. So yeah, we're all just trying to do the best job that we can, and yeah, fortunately we're stretching that lead out.
Will the unfortunate moment between you and Anton and that sort of opening stanza of that last race today led to a pretty big swing in those points, up for the fight and pushing this Dunlop Teams Championship all the way to Adelaide?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's been a great weekend for the team, but it was quite a costly day today on that front. So Anton and I, we worked really well together. We raced well together. It was just a really unfortunate incident that cost him a lot of points in his race, and obviously a real shame for this morning in the first race. I started 11th. I'd sort of got my way all the way back to 3rd. Had a cracking start, but then we had the unfortunate penalty. So yeah, quite a costly day on the points front. Could have been a lot better, but that's all good. We'll just focus on our speed, and I'm sure we'll be taking this battle all the way to the end.
Cool. Shane, finally, we're going back to NZ. It's been too long. As it's getting ever so close now, is it starting to kick in now, the feelings for you going home to race?
Yeah, like New Zealand's been starved of motorsport, and even when I've been going back for the rallies and stuff, the passion for racing there at the moment's huge, and they've been starving for it. So the talk of the supercars, talk of the WRC, like it's an awesome time. And unfortunately, the day after we announced, supercars, or the day after we launched Pukekohe Supercars, or they announced the track was closing. So yeah, it's going to be a massive year for us, and hopefully myself, Andre and Chris, we can get up there and put on a good show. But yeah, I grew up, my interest in supercars started at Pukekohe, and yeah, I'd love to go out there with a good result and a good showing. But as I sort of said, I'm trying not to get too excited. I want to go there and treat it like every other round and not get too caught up in all the celebrations about it. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to go there.
Awesome. I know how important the Jason Richards Memorial Trophy is to you as well, but similar to Will, we don't know the history of this place. Unfortunately, we do know the history of Pukekohe. Would you like to have your name on that last ever race win there?
Yeah, as I said, I'm not thinking about that stuff, but obviously that would be a dream. But I've got to go there, get the prep done in the next couple of weeks. Brock's going driving there next week, and maybe we can learn a bit about the surface and stuff, and I'll go over to New Zealand early and have a look around myself. And yeah, it's all going to be in the preparation and make sure we're ready to go.
Nice. Enjoy your time at home, mate. Congratulations, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.